Do you know what I love about cookbooks? They're like a culinary time capsule from the past. They show the cooking trends and disasters of those that came before us and highlight the weird and wonderful imagination that brought food preparation to where we are today. Who could forget dishes like banana hollandaise, the prawn cocktail, and pretty much anything in aspic? Which is why today we're delving into the past to resurrect a classic dish, curried sausages. It's time for a musical menus quickie. Musical menu quickie. Let's be honest, curry sausages never really went away. In fact, I know a lot of people who still make it the way their mum used to make it. And even though there are hundreds of variations in the recipe, there was always one constant ingredient. An ingredient that transported you from your humdrum suburban life into a world of colour and spice. A far-off land of exotic tastes and mouth-watering recipes. A sprinkle of this ingredient would elevate your cooking to stratospheric levels and transport you into unknown realms of faraway lands. Of course, I'm talking about Keen's curry powder.
What if you don't have Keen's curry powder?
Well, you'll have to make something else because it's actually illegal to make this without Keen's curry powder. In fact, you will go to jail. As usual, I'm going to make two versions of this recipe, one using beef sausages and the other using a vegan alternative. Right, let's get started on the sauce. First, cut up one red onion and 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. Add the onion to a fry pan and cook off for a few minutes or until they start to soften. Add the garlic and let them cook off as well. Now we get to add our star ingredient. Now, I don't really like hot curries myself, so the amount you put in is really up to you. I'm going to use 3 tablespoons of Keen's curry powder, 1 tablespoon of a korma curry paste for some extra depth, and 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Stir the ingredients for a few minutes until they're cooked off. Next we add the wet ingredients. I'm going to start with 1 tin of crushed tomatoes. Then fill the empty tin with veggie stock and add that to the pan. Once the sauce is simmering, add 4 tablespoons of mango chutney for a bit of sweetness and about a teaspoon of salt. Of course, this may not be exactly the same as the version you're used to, but don't worry, I've done some extensive research on the internet and I found out that you can also put in it peas, corn, carrots, celery, pineapple, potato, sweet potato, dates, and even spam. Well, I'm afraid for me it's not a real curried sausages unless it has sultanas. Now our sauce is made, we'll let it simmer on low heat for about 10 minutes. Now for the sausages. I've pre-cooked some beef sausages. Now if you want, you could just put them straight into the sauce like that, but I like to cut them into jaunty little angles because that's the kind of guy I am. Repeat the process with the veggie sausages. Normally I would just add the sausages to the sauce, but because I'm doing 2 versions and I've only got 1 saucepan, I'm going to put them in these 2 dishes and bake them in the oven. The final touch are some cashews for a bit of a crunch. Then it's into a 200-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. time to serve. I like to serve this with some rice, a dollop of yogurt, some more mango chutney, and a sprinkle of cashews and parsley. Oh, that takes me back to my childhood. But don't believe me, we have a culinary expert from the 1960s here to test out my recreation. It's my mother-in-law, Barb. Well, what do you think, Barb?
I think this is the best thing I've ever tasted. The interplay of flavours dances across the tongue and electrifies the taste buds with an exotic fervour I've never experienced before. I am so lucky to have you as my favourite son-in-law.
Oh, Barb, you're too kind. Now, if you like this video, please go to YouTube and hit subscribe. Find me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want the recipe, it'll be on musicalmenus.com.au. Next week, I'll be delving into my sumptuous garden to bring you a very herby recipe, salsa verde. Enjoy.